Hey guys, and welcome to the fourth unofficial Community Manager Diary. Now before I start this one, I just want to say a little apology if I look like a beetroot and the fact that my hair's still wet. I've literally just stepped out of the shower because I want to get this video recorded before we do our 9 o'clock meeting. In fact, it's so early I've not even had my first cup of tea yet. Cheers. On to business. Now at the beginning of every diary, what I do is take a question from the last one, answer it, and that person wins a copy of Interstellar Marine. So this week it goes to Valda Dannery, if I pronounce your name correctly, and his question is a good one because it ties into one of the things I want to talk about this week. So I'll read it out for you verbatim. He's saying, I was wondering what kind of movement system ZPS is going for in the final product. It's great to be able to run and all that, but I would like to see some movement in a vertical aspect as well, and perhaps more covering mechanics as well against wall, cover, etc. This is a very good question because movement is one of the things that we're concentrating on, but we've also now agreed to rehire the animator that we used to have. Now this guy is amazing, and what I'll do is put a link to his 2011 showreel in the description for this video. Take a look at that because it shows a lot of the concept work that he did for us back in those days, back in the old engine. So you've got things like land shark movement and what they look like when they attack you. You've got things such as climbing up a ladder, things such as scaling a wall. All of those concept animations are in there, and I do need to stress that they're concept stuff. So have a look at that, and if you're watching this video, just click on that link, have a watch of it, and especially you, Valda Dannery, you have a look at that, see what you think. Again, concept stuff. No guarantee that that will be in the game, or if it is in the game it will look that way, but that will give you a really cool idea of which way Ronnie works. And to be honest with you, the absolute damn quality of the guy's work, because it's brilliant. Now he's coming on board full time by about mid-September, and he'll start working on the animation. The first thing he'll do is work on what we call the character control, so that's basically the bit of code and all the animation parts which control how you move. So at the moment, if you move forwards and backwards, sideways, you move basically the same way. And he'll change that so that you'll be sidestepping left and right, so that if you walk, you'll have a different movement mechanic to if you run. And this is what we need for a pro animator. And this guy, if you look at his show reel, this guy is the biz. He is fantastic. So that's the question. Thank you very much, Valda Dannery. I will send you a copy of Interstellar Marines through YouTube. Same thing for this video. If you've got a question about what's in it, anything about Interstellar Marines, please put it in the comments section. If I read out and answer your question, you win a copy of Interstellar Marines. So what I want to talk about this week, there's actually so much stuff I want to talk about this week. This is why I'm up early, because I'm just full of enthusiasm and full of buzz at what's been going on. So the week started magnificently. We had an early morning meeting on Monday, Karsten and I. Karsten's the other community manager. And we had a meeting with Kim and Michael. Now, I guess most of you guys probably know that Kim, Michael, and everybody else works out of the office in Copenhagen. Karsten principally works out of his home, which is about 20 minutes from the office, although he goes there quite regularly. And I'm based in Spain. So I've never actually met Karsten, I've never met Kim, I've never met Michael, never met Maria, never met any other members of the team, though that's hopefully going to be remedied in probably September, I think, about the time I move back to the UK. So we had this meeting on Monday morning, and from our side what it was to do was to present what the community is most interested in. We're talking short-term stuff and we're talking long-term stuff. Now, everything we presented dovetailed into what Kim and Michael already knew. So we looked at the, let's say the short-term stuff. Things like team killing, things like spawn killing, things such as jump crouch, which I've just talked about. But we also looked at things like the esports, which is what we had the chance at that point to present to Kim and Michael. Now, if you remember from the last it's not Dev Diary, it's a Community Manager Diary. If you remember from the last Community Manager Diary, I went through in some depth on the esports that we were looking at into the game, and kind of the package of what we wanted to do was to present to Kim and Michael, and it consisted of two sections. The first section was what we call the minimal package, which is the feature set that we need to be able to actually start esports. And the full package was the whole shebang, everything you could possibly want from an esports within a game. And after a very short conversation, we got approval for esports, which means that esports is going to be in Interstellar Marines. Now, this is important because this also ties into the rest of the meetings that we had during the week. And what those meetings were all about is deciding what's going to be in... no, not what's going to be. Deciding when we are going to put things into the game over a time frame of the next 16 months. So until the end of 2014, the end of next year. So basically what we've done is set out a series of milestones between now and the end of next year, and said that by this milestone we want this to be in the game, and then carry the process on from there. It's basic planning, it's what everyone does anyway. But by the end of next year, what we're aiming for is to have the first complete campaign or chapter, whichever you want to call it, of Interstellar Marines out with you guys. So originally, you may remember from quite a while ago, we talked about a trilogy. Now, we won't have a trilogy, we'll still have the same content, but we won't have a trilogy. And the reason why we won't have a trilogy is because that's just simply to... it doesn't give us the flexibility we need. A trilogy consists of 3 parts. We want more. So it's not going to be a trilogy per se, and the story will continue on. But the first part of the overall story, so the first campaign slice, if you will, we are aiming to have completed by the end of next year. Now that will be split into 2 chunks. And the first chunk is what we're starting to concentrate on now. And this is why we are ramping up the team. So we've got Ronnie starting middle of September, he's the animator. We've got a game programmer we're looking for, we've got an environmental artist we're looking for. Reese, the sound guy, is already on. We have got Jess, who is the level designer, who's coming on. And to be honest with you, what's going to happen is that we're actually going to hijack Jess. And we're going to take you for a few days and say, right mate, we need some esports maps. But that also brings up something else, and this is a question I've got for you guys. As you can tell, esports is quite important to us because it gives us an opportunity and a tool set to be able to bring and engage the community. Would you be interested if we held a map making competition for the community? So in other words, if we said to you, we are planning on having esports support, the minimal esports support, by the end of this year, because that's what we're planning. And if we were to say, hold a tournament during the first part of next year, because that's what we're considering. And if we were to hold that tournament which had a cash prize, which is what we're thinking about, would you guys be interested in, first of all, taking part in that? And would you guys be interested in working to design a map for that? If you are, let me know, because I've played a lot of games. And I have worked in unofficial capacities on many websites. I've been around for a long time. And as many times I've seen companies say, let's do a community map. And it never happens. So I want to know if you guys will be interested in doing that. And if you're interested in doing that, let me know. And what we'll do is we'll set up a competition. So the best community map, judged by Karsten, Jess and myself, will be made into a map, and we will see if we can use that for esports. So that's a question for you guys. Now, if you are into esports or anything like that, start talking to your mates. Start thinking about starting again. Excuse me again. I said it was early in the morning. I still haven't had my first cup of tea. Start talking to your friends about forming teams, because by the end of this year, we're aiming to have the minimal support in the game, and that means that we can do things such as shoutcasting, live casting, and run tournaments, all that kind of things, and start getting you guys something to fight for, something to come in day after day, so that you are spending more time with the game and more time enjoying the game. Now, I appreciate that esports is not something that everyone wants. So what I said earlier was that we've been planning all of the things that we've been doing that we're planning on doing for Interstellar Marines now between now and the end of next year. And we block that out, and the closer the blocks are to today, the more accurate the timing is. So for example, anything that we blocked out for this year is far more likely to happen than anything that we blocked out for, say, December of next year, because of creating a game is not a science, it's an art, it's a creative process, and excuse my French, things bugger up. It's just the way it is. You may find a bug that might take you weeks to fix, and if that happens, it delays things. It's just the way it is. You can't stop it, we just have to deal with it. And what's going to happen, I would dearly love to be able to tell you what we're planning between now and the end of this year, in addition to what I mentioned about esports. But Kim has worked with this game now for 10 years. It's his dream, it's his life, and I think it is genuinely, it should be his honour to be able to release that kind of information. And I don't want to steal his thunder. So I'm going to leave that up to him. Yesterday I drafted a provisional press release that details the 4 key things that we're planning on doing between now and the end of this year. So what I'm hoping is that by the beginning of next week, we'll be able to share the additional, esports is one of those, but we'll be able to share the additional 3 things with you, and that will be Kim that does that. And I really don't want to step on his toes. I've got amazing respect for this guy, his resilience, his dedication, his ability to carry on when his entire world seems to be falling down around him. And the least I can do is make sure that he's the guy that releases that information. So hopefully that'll be by the end of next week. But we've now got fairly cast in stone what we'll be doing between now and the end of the year, this year. What we've also got what we want to achieve by now and the end of next year, and that will be, as I mentioned, the completion of the first complete slice or campaign of Interstellar Marines. I guess that's it for this Community Manager Diary. I'm going to log off now and go finish this cup of tea, which is staring me in the face. As always, guys, thanks for your comments and everything on this particular diary. I hope you enjoyed it, because I thoroughly enjoyed making these. I actually bounced out of bed this morning full of ideas, because there's just so much been happening this week. I've got a screenshot actually of the Skype meeting that we had yesterday, and it contains everything that we're planning on doing between now and the end of next year. And I'm looking at that and thinking, God damn, look at all of that stuff. And the fact that we released that picture of the whiteboard on Facebook, that was done very late. It's at 1 o'clock, I think, on Thursday morning. And I walked into this office, which is where I work, on Thursday morning and looked at that and went, what? They've released that? Fuck. Because that's the planning work that they've been doing. That's basically most things that we're looking at having are there. Most of the things that we're planning on doing are there. The only thing that's missing from that is the timescale of each individual item. And that's it. And you can accuse a lot of game developers of not being open and not being honest. And I think that's probably about the last thing that you really can accuse ZPS of being. And it's people like Kim. And keep in mind, he's a game director. He's basically the person who came up with the idea for this game. And it's the person that's been driving it now since its birth. And he's the guy that's pushing out, putting up those kind of pictures. Now, I said this before, nobody at ZPS knows what's going to be in these videos, these community manager videos. No one sees them before they're released. I could be spilling God knows how many company secrets in these, and they would never know until they actually saw the video like you. And yet Kim is the person that said, get the videos up on our Facebook page. Let people know about them, because he loves this kind of stuff. He just wants to be as open as he possibly can. And that is, in this day and age, with the way that companies develop games these days, that is something incredible. And I love working for this company. So anyway, I said about 2 minutes ago I'm going to sign off, so I'm going to sign off. Got any questions about this video? Please put them into the comments section. If I read out and answer yours, you get a copy of Interstellar Marines. If you've already got a copy of it, no probs. You can send it off to a mate, trade it, do whatever you want with it. It's up to you. Thank you so much for watching this video. I suspect it's run considerably past the 5-minute mark, which is what I aim for when I'm doing these. But, you know, there's so much stuff happened this week. I genuinely don't care. I'm just so buzzed with everything that's going on. As always, enjoy your gaming. Take care.